Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is our centerpiece, kind of a unique centerpiece. We've turned our skinny straw wreath into a, well, I guess like a framed centerpiece. So instead of hanging it on the wall, you can use it on your table. I will show you what I found at Michael's to create this. If we want to go to overhead. And then while I'm doing this, just if everyone wants to let us know where you're watching from so we can learn if anybody's in a warmer spot than us. So one of the first things, of course, you'll need for this is our skinny straw wreath. It's the 18-inch. When you get this straw wreath, it's going to be totally covered in plastic. And I just wanted to leave a little bit of plastic on here to show you that you don't want to take a scissors or a knife and like cut through the plastic. You want to really find the end. You'll see the end somewhere on your wreath. And then you want to take the time to actually unwrap the plastic all the way around. If you use a knife or scissors to get this plastic off, there's a little bit of a line, this amount of filament line on here, like a fish line. And that's what holds all of the straw onto the metal ring. So just want to be sure you unwrap it before you get going. And then also this is our 6-inch half ball in our FloraFōM green. You'll need one of those. And then we're going to use 2 of these white gourd picks. They have 2 gourds and a pumpkin and some leaves, so you'll need 2 of those. We're also going to use 2 of these grapevine pumpkins, 1 on either side, so you'll need 2 of those. And then for our focal flower, I found these mums, and it's just a nice, pretty nice bush of mums. And of course, you could use any color. You could do this in orange or whatever your colors would be. And then just a fall leaf bush. Again, can be any leaf. I just liked the colors of these. And then just to decorate around the top of your skinny wreath, I just wanted a little something up there so it wasn't just plain. And I found this really cool garland. It's a 5-foot garland. And then to fill in and cover up any of the FloraFōM ball, when we're finished, we'll use a little bit of Spanish moss to cover anything that we want covered. So to start out, I'll show you the tools we're going to need. So we're going to need a pencil and some kind of a serrated knife. That we're going to use the half ball as a stand. So we're going to cut it in half and scoop it out a little bit so that we can put it on either side of this ring and use it as a stand and as the arranger to put our stems into. So pencil and a serrated knife. And then to add the Spanish moss, we're going to use these greening pins, they're called. You'll see them back in the, like the floral tools back in there, you'll find them. And then you'll need a pair of wire cutters to cut your stems of your bushes. And we'll probably use some glue to attach the foam ball base. So when you're using a glue gun with our foam, just be sure you use low temp. The hot temp guns or the high temp guns sometimes get so hot that they'll melt our foam. So it's just best to use a low temp gun. And I think that is it for tools. Move this out of the way. All right, any questions so far?
No questions yet, but we have a lot of people joining us today. They're coming from Florida, a couple from New York, California, Arizona, Georgia, more Florida, Connecticut. Most places are warmer than we are probably here in Michigan.
Well, good. Welcome, everyone. So to start out, all I'm going to do is cut this ball right in half. So we're going to use half on one side of the wreath and half on the other. So just in half. And then what I did was if you hold your wreath up, and I know you can't see this real great on the overhead, but if you hold your wreath up, and then all I want you to do is take your pencil and just run it along the top of that wreath and make a groove. And then you can see the little groove there. So we're gonna cut off this portion, not all the way off, but we're gonna like make a channel for that wreath to glue into. So let's see the best way to do this. I think I'll have you do it this way. So if you hold it like this, and you're just gonna go like halfway in, about halfway into the ball, not quite halfway, and then flip it over and cut this bottom portion off. So you're making like a little channel like that. You guys see that? And so how it's going to work is it'll sit on that side like that, right over top, and then be your stand. So again, take this ball, hold your wreath up, take your pencil, just draw along the top of your wreath. And we're going to cut into it part way. Like about an inch, about the thickness of your wreath. All right. And then we're going to cut this part off. All right. And that's your other side. So the two pieces will go together like that. And then your wreath will be in the middle. So this is where you'll need your glue gun. And I just go ahead and put quite a bit of glue inside this channel. And you're going to hold your wreath up, glue on that side. And just to hold it in place, you can use a couple of your greening pins and just kind of go through that side and then go through on this side. That'll just help hold it while that glue dries. And then same for this. Gonna add some glue, and remember it was just a channel like that. I just cut out like a square out of it. So we're gonna add a bunch of glue to this side. And we're gonna put that right on this other side. You know what? I'm gonna glue these two right here together too, right in the middle. And then go ahead and secure that half on with a couple of pins. And give it just a minute to dry so it's holding on there nice.
Now, Dondi, someone asked the question, is there an opportunity to use something else as the base? Like, for example, a pool noodle? If so, why? If not, why would you recommend our FloraFōM that you're using today?
Well, the problem with a pool noodle would be it wouldn't be rigid enough. I don't think it would have the strength to hold this upright. I don't know. I've not tried that, but just our foam is nice and sturdy, so you can cut that channel and it works best. Even like with our dry foam, I think our dry foam would even be a little too fragile. This just it holds up and it'll hold these nice these heavier stems that we're using today. All right. So are we good there? And the bottom, this is what it looks like. So it fits right in that little channel when you get it all on there. All right. So first thing we are gonna do is place these pumpkins and all I did, you can cut these off about, you'll see where the end is a little skinnier and then it gets a little thicker. You can cut that thinner end right off. We won't need all of this stem. And these clippers are a little more heavy duty than the regular diagonal cutters. These are their heavy duty cutters and they really do make a difference. They're a lot nicer to use. A little easier on your hands. They cost a little more, but I found that it's worth it in the long run because you don't have to fight with them as much. All right, we're just gonna fluff these a little, bring the leaves out, kind of spread them out a little bit, make them look nice. And then curve it a little bit so it's like curved to the curve of the ball. And we're just gonna put one right here on this side and use your greening pins to secure the stem to the ball. And this, our FloraFōM ball is gonna hold up a little nicer if you wanna use this year after year. The strength of it's gonna hold up a little better for you. So there you are on that side, and we'll go ahead and turn it around and do the same thing on this side. Give it a little bend so it's curved with the ball. And we're gonna lay it in the opposite direction on the other side. And just use a few pins to secure it in. And you can use, all these little pieces are wired, so you can kind of move them around and help fill in around that ball. All right. And then the next two, we're gonna go ahead and put these on. And get the sticker off. And again, we won't need all that stem. We'll cut a couple, about 1.5 inches off. And this one I just liked right down close. On that side. and then opposite. So when you turn it around, you want this one opposite of the first one. And we'll pop that one right in there. So that's so far. Before we get too much going on the base, we'll add our garland around the top. And then if you unravel this, you'll see I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut it off after this first pumpkin. So you have the end, and then you have a couple of branches and a pumpkin. And you want to cut it off right after that pumpkin. And we're going to use this to fill in the middle, just so that you have a little of the same texture inside the arrangement, not just around the outside. So then it's just securing it on here, and you can again use a little pin. And you can pin it right into the straw. And just start wrapping it loosely around the ring. No rhyme or reason, just wrapping it around. And then you'll want to secure it again at the end with another pin. Right into the straw. And then just do a little putzing to make this look nice. So it's evenly spaced. Get your little pumpkins right side up. Yeah, and then just save this little piece. We'll add this last when we know where it goes.
Gandhi, do you have any of those pins that you can show?
I do.
Perfect.
So it's a greening pin. Greening pin, S pin, U pin. There's a lot of things that they call it. But it has this little S. That's why they call it an S pin. It has a little, almost like an S on the top of it. But yeah, they're nice little pins that's for securing stuff to our foam or to straw or anything. All right, next we're going to get into this bush. So on this bush, there's a couple, are they a little bit longer? Kind of right in the middle of it. You'll see some that are a little bit longer stem. We're going to try to get those out of there. Or does it? I guess we don't make them that long. So a couple of these longer ones. And we're going to put those one either side. And we're going to angle it so it's just past the outside of the wreath on the side. And again, find that foam ball. Stick that one in. About the same distance on either side. And I don't know if maybe, are you doing okay with the overhead, or should we go to front view? I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Would you rather have front facing or? Yes? Nakora, Korea. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Can we try front facing and see if they can see what I'm doing a little better? Okay, well, so we're gonna take 2 more of these. And we're gonna cut these. I'd say this is probably about 6 inches, 8 inches for this one. And you're gonna go right in by the first one that you put in, and you're just gonna do it just a little bit shorter. So you'll bring it in so it's like right next to the wreath. And again, we're gonna cut about a 6-inch stem. And we'll go on this side. So you're gonna have 3. You'll have, oh, is that better or is that not better? So we did 3. So you got your one at the end that's even with the outside of the wreath, and then 1 on either side of that. So you'll have 3 like that on the end. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. Oh, about 6 or 8 inch stem. And do 1 over here. And then 1 on this other side. So you'll have your 3 in a triangle on that side. And then you can bend your little blossoms up so that they look up at everyone, so they're not hidden. Okay. We're going to use the rest of these to fill in. So these we probably, I'm going to say about 4 or 5 inch stem. And we'll put 1 right here in the center between these 2 pumpkins, right in the middle. And then maybe 1 on either side. And then 2, guys, if these have like two bunches of leaves. So instead of cutting it off and not using that leaf, you can push it up, and it just makes your blossom a little fuller. So go ahead and push those leaves up instead of throwing them away. And they just help fill in. So I'm going to put another one right next to this one. And I think that's going to be a little too long. I'm going to go about 3 inches. I'll put 1 right in there. And you can move around your gourds and make everything fit while you're adding in your flowers. So I have those 2 on that side. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'll add another one on this side. And arrange your gourds around. Might want to move your leaves and get those out. Looks like we have 3 more blossoms. So at this point, you can just kind of look around your arrangement and see, like, maybe right here, there's a little hole. There's a hole right here, or I could add another blossom and that would kind of fill that in. So that's all you're doing now is just adding these last few wherever you think they might fit. So really, I mean, you could do this exact same arrangement on your door, but I would just use half of the half ball so that it would be flat on the back. You wouldn't need this other pumpkin or this other gourd pick, but you could totally do it one-sided with the half well, it'd be a quarter of a ball as your arranger, and then do this all one-sided, and it would hang on your door just as easy as on your table. You could even do them to match. Get another wreath and do one for your door and one for your table, so they kind of have the same look feel. So because I put that flower over there, I am going to put this flower over here just so that it's even. Then we're going to use, oh, let's do this now. So this guy, I wanted just a couple pieces of this down inside the arrangement. So you can just put this down in, and it's a piece like that. I'm just going to put a floral pin right there in the middle and pin it down into the middle of the ball there. That way you have one of those little pumpkins and a little bit of this stem down in the arrangement. So it kind of looks like it goes all the way through, I guess. So one more thing, and this is kind of what brings it all together. It's stuck on my finger. So on this one, there's also a couple that are a little bit longer, I believe. Anyway, we want two of them that are about the same length. We'll use that one. There's really not two of them that are the same. So I'll cut a long one, and you're gonna put this kind of underneath your mum that's on the end, and just let that stick out on that side. You'll bring your other piece, do the same on the other side, right underneath your mum. Then we're gonna use the rest of this and just cut little pieces like so. And you're just gonna use them here and there, in and around the arrangement, just to add that little bit of leaf color and filler where you need it. Do we have any questions so far? Do we have people crafting along? I think I saw one gal that was crafting, yes.
Yes, we do
Deborah.
have someone that I can see
I
crafting.
see Deborah. Looks very nice.
Please let us know if you're crafting with us today, and don't forget to share with us online using hashtag FloraCraft. We'd love to see what you're making.
Yes, for sure. So I'm just finishing in, just adding in this color here and there. Just trying to make it even. And then one rule of thumb is if you do it on one side, do it on the other side. That way you're keeping it even, and because it's a centerpiece, you want everyone to have a pretty view.
And don't forget, if you're not able to craft along with us today, Michael's does post this on their YouTube channel, so it will live on there when you decide to partake in this great craft for your next event.
So some add-ins. ribbons. You could do some really pretty ribbon add-ins and just poke it in so the little tails stick out. You could even put a little bit of ribbon around the wreath with the garland. What else could we add in here? Lights. Any other ideas, guys? Lights would be really pretty in here. Let's put a few right here in the top. Looks cute. I got a little more here. And looks like I can fit some under here. One more piece, we might as well use it. Pretty full. Pretty full. I'm gonna stick one right down here. We'll hide it underneath. Ah, those little battery operated string lights would be cute peeking in here.
Yes, and there's so many great ideas on here. Someone said maybe you could hang ornaments from the top.
Oh, yes.
You could wrap it in ribbon to make it a little bit more Christmas festive.
Super cute ideas, absolutely. So when you're looking into your pumpkin, you can see the foam ball in there. So that's where the Spanish moss comes in. So you're going to just go ahead and pop that pumpkin right out for a second. And take a little bit of moss. And make a little nest in there. And that way, when you put your pumpkin back down, you won't see that ball through it. There. And I kind of like that texture of that Spanish moss. So I even take little bits of it and just tuck it here and there and have it coming out because I just think it's kind of a cool texture. You can pin it in or use a pin and pin it in, but it's just kind of neat to see that little bit of texture in there when you're looking in. So anywhere that you can see and you look in and you see the ball or you see, you know, the stem of something that you don't like, just go ahead and cover it up with a little moss. So I did the same thing. I'm going to take this pumpkin right out. And right in that hole, I'm going to put this little batch of moss. And you don't really need to pin it because the pumpkin's going to kind of hold it in there for you. Like so. And then, like I said, anywhere that you can see in, you don't want to see the ball. Have a little bit underneath this pumpkin here, so it looks like it's nested in the moss. Put a little over on this side.
Now, Dondi, we can't get too far into the class without my favorite part of class.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I almost forgot.
So for those of you who this may be your first time joining us, or maybe you just don't know, here at FloraCraft, we love to make it fun. And so with that being said, I have the joke of the day. Are you ready, Dondi?
I am ready.
How did the little pumpkins get to the other side of the road?
You got me, Emma. I'm not sure how they did.
With the help of a crossing gourd.
Of course. Of course.
I thought it was fitting with the project today.
It is fitting. That's cute. A crossing gourd. I could almost see him with his little safety vest on. So guys, I am just now finishing up putting this last little piece of moss in here. And I just kind of liked it. Kind of gives something for those pumpkins and gourds to rest on. And then actually, I'm gonna put a little bit right on the wreath, down low on the side, because when you look in from the end, it just doesn't look finished. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of moss in there. So when you're down here at this side of the table, you're not just looking at stems and bare straw. You got a little moss in there. And again, on this side, take a little batch of it. Another pin. And I'm going to secure that right down in, right onto the side of the wreath. You could add some cinnamon scent sticks in here and have a little fun scent in here. You know, just bundle up some of those little cinnamon sticks and poke them in on either side. Would be a cute addition. If you like glitter, I see sometimes they'll take glitter and they'll put glitter just on the tips of the flowers or just on the tips of the leaves. Maybe a little bit on the tops of the gourds, or maybe paint the gourd stems gold, because they're kind of a funny looking green. They'd be really cute painted gold. So just some ideas for making it your own, whether it's lights or ribbon or what have you. And then, are there any further questions? I know we ended a little quick today. Do you guys want to hold up your arrangements so I can see? I know I see one. Looking very nice.
It does look very nice. Now, Dondi, someone's asking if you had some dried flowers that you wanted to add to this, how would you do that?
Oh, absolutely. I wish I had some right by me, but I don't. But I will show you this. So dried stems are, of course, you know, really fragile, and you wouldn't be able to stick them in either our straw or our FloraFōM. But Michael's does have these little floral picks, and if you can see, can you see that little wire on there? There it is. So they're wired little picks. So what you would do is take your floral stem or your dried stem, and you would just put this towards the end of your stem, and then you're just gonna wrap this wire around there, and that's securing your dried stem to this little wooden pick. And then you'll be able to insert either into the straw or into our FloraFōM nicely with the dried florals. And then they have what they call floral tape. It comes in green, or I don't know if they have brown there or not, but it's a green. It's called floral tape. And you can also use that to hide your mechanics if you want to, but pretty much everything is kind of hidden once you get it in here. But yeah, some dried wheat, or one of my favorites is the bunny tails, those little furry, cute, and they have almost any color you can think of those little bunny tails, and those would be super cute in here too. The wheat. I'll hold this up for you guys a minute. So, and just kind of mess around with your garland and get it on there so it's looking a little nicer than mine right now. And then you can see how this one's really round. What I did with the other one is our straw has a wire in it. So if you don't want the height of the arrangement, you can just literally just push on this top, and look, it makes it more oval rather than round. And I kind of liked this look better with the oval. So just an idea, just a different shape if you want to. And that wire holds really nice. So the wire that's inside our straw. And then our skinny straw too, it makes a really nice wreath for your door. One, with its skinny profile, you don't have to use as much material to cover it. And yeah, and just with a little bit of ribbon around it and a little batch of florals at the base, it makes a really pretty wreath for your door. Any other questions out there? All right, well, since we have a little time, I will show you what's up next. And I'm not sure the date. January 14th? No, that's too far away.
Our next class is December 13th.
December 13th. So this is what we'll be doing. Another centerpiece. This time we did it in a cute little basket, some of Michael's pretty ribbon, a couple floral bushes, a greenery bush, and our 6-inch FloraFōM cube is inside here. So fun little arrangement, centerpiece arrangement. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how to switch it up so you can use this throughout New Year's also. Just a little color change and a few things, and show you how to change it up and make it last a little longer for you. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you get a lot of use out of it. I hope you change it up and make it your own. I'm sure you are. And if there's no more questions, we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. Thanks so much for making it fun with FloraCraft.